Dela writes, my MVVs, welcome. Ooni of Ife's wife's, sacred procession to the shrine of Obalufon ends in dreaded vision, as we are hearing. They said they had, very scary burnt marks on their hands. Now, the question still remains, who is the one, narrating this ordeal to the elders and everybody? Who is this man? Now, from the very first video that you saw today, is the same man that has been narrating the ordeal, like telling everybody what has been going on. Apparently, he became scared. As strong as, they said he is, he became scared. They said his name is Eru Jeje Mason, okay? They say he is a spirituality that owns the biggest Egungun shrine in Ilaporo Ilaporo is in, I think Ilaporo is a town in Ijebu Northeast local government area. They say that's where his shrine is. But he lives in a place where they call Oke. Something Ese Oke. I mean, Oke Ese, that's where he lives. The man himself. And his family is living in that Ese Oke also. But his shrine, is in this place that they call Ilaporo. The man came to the palace. He's been the one saying a whole lot that man owns the biggest Egungun. Now, before we go into this main story, now, what is an Egungun shrine? Egungun shrine is a sacred place dedicated to the worship, invocation, and celebration of ancestral spirit in Yoruba tradition. The word Egungun refers to the collective spirit of the departed ancestors, and the shrine serves as a physical and spiritual link between the living and the dead. Okay? They said he owns the very biggest Egungun shrine in that Ilaporo place. Now, I think while they were looking for solution and all of that, somebody had directed them to this man. The man was the one this man has been the one carrying them to all of those places. He took them to the Yamoja, he took them to the forbidden place again, and now he talked about how they went to Obalufon, okay? Now, Obalufon is one of the most revered and ancient ancestral deities in Yoruba history and tradition. Historically, Obalufon Aye More was an Ooni of Ife, a king, priest, and sacred, craftsman over time. He was, he became a spiritual figure, okay, especially associated with wisdom, kingship, sacred artistry, bronze casting, and divine justice. Obalufon is not only remembered as a ruler, but is worshipped in some part of Yoruba land as a powerful ancestral spirit who watches over justice, sacred order, and royal lineage. Now, they went to this place because of justice. Do you know that these women really, really think that they are unjustly treated? Now, the selfishness of man in this world is something I don't know. And that is why you see that when we throw morals and we feel like anything can go in this world, it becomes a very big problem. How can you think that you are unjustly treated? The woman who married, Nami was married, duly married. In fact, as a matter of talking about marriage, Nami happens to be one of those women that married Ooni of Ife the way a queen is supposed to marry a king. Or rather, Nami happens to be that woman that Ooni of Ife married the way a king is supposed to marry the queen. They did their 13 rituals complete. Now, these women feel they have been unjustly treated. And that is why they are going from one place to the other. Now, in spiritual terms, they say Obalufon is known to fiercely guard the purity of royal traditions and the sanctity of sacred oath. His shrine is not commonly visited except during significant royal festival, coronations, or when spiritual imbalance threatens the throne. The shrine is a place of strict ancestral energy, one where truth is non-negotiable and any act of manipulation, jealousy, or falsehood is exposed and punished spiritually. spiritually. So my take is, if this is what this Obalufon deity shrine stands for, is it that the Messi Jeje, Abi Oru Jeje, or Orumu Jeje, whatever that Baba's name is? He did not explain all of this to them. He now took them there. To go and do what? To go and say you have been unjustly treated? Between you and Naomi, who was unjustly treated? A woman who is supposed to be in her matrimonial home, enjoying and running her life with her husband for almost 3 years now. Almost going to 4 years she's been outside. Is it 4 years or is it not even going to 5 years? She has been outside because you people came and pushed her. Is that justice? That Baba said that when they were going, they had disguised themselves so much. But as soon as they entered that Obalufon shrine, that the custodian knew who they were. That the wives of, Kabiesi were feeling spiritually threatened by Queen Naomi's growing divine authority and influence, especially her recent full moon ritual, because the first one was successful, the second one was successful. And they never ever thought that she will even go past the first one, not to talk of second one. And the mysterious divine affirmation surrounding her secretly, arranged. They said they secretly arranged a procession to the Obalufon shrine in hopes of spiritually intervening. They intended to appeal to Obalufon to restore their individual relevance and diminish the unseen, spiritual force that continues to draw the Ooni's heart towards Queen Naomi. And you know that these women, they continue to think that Queen Naomi is doing something. Sometimes, when you hear these things, you would think that maybe they are driven by jealousy, but then you find out that it's not even not just jealousy. I don't know what to call this. How do you continue to think that Queen Naomi is using something on the Ooni of Ife? And that is why they have said it time and time again. That if person no buy, they no go green. Because how far can you possibly go to try and get Naomi out of her home? How far? How far can you go? Look at what is going on now. Baba confessed that while in Obalufon shrine, as they concluded their chant and poured libation because he was there with them, a strange wind reportedly swept through the shrine. Despite the early morning calm, the priest and the priest fell into a trance and began speaking in an unknown tongue. That is a priestess, not a priest, a priestess that was there. Suddenly, a burning sensation marked the right hand of each wife involved in the ritual. That if they deny this, let them bring their right hand. All this because they have already started denying. Do you know this one was deliberately done to disgrace them? These marks, scotched like circles or lines, appeared out of nowhere and have not faded. Elders later confirmed this as a warning sign in Yoruba spiritual code, a symbol of dishonor before the ancestors, and a final caution not to interfere in matters already spiritually sealed. That they should be very careful. They said the wife returned to the palace shaken physically, spiritually, that the Ooni of Ife learned of the incident and went into a reflective silence as the shrine of Obalufon is tied directly to the kingship institution. So when Obalufon sends a sign, it is taken as an ancestral verdict. The bone mark are not considered a spiritual rebuke, a declaration that the wife's action were against sacred order and that, they were considered that the bone marks were considered a sign of sacred rebuke, a declaration that the wife's action were against sacred order and that Queen Naomi's spiritual place in the palace is not to be tampered with. And that happens to be the very last warning that they are giving them. This is what we are hearing. More confessions coming. I'm going to bring you more updates. Do not forget that these are all alleged, rumored, unverified information making the rounds on social media.